Is there any message that you want to generally give to all of your students now on maybe how we can improve our practice, or yeah, how we can maybe reach our intentions in the practice?
Well, the root of good practice is definitely the motive. So I think you need to remember your purpose. Remember it often, not just get lost in the practice itself, but you need to remember why you've chosen to practice, and what you hope to arrive at from it, if you like. So that's in a sense the motive that's behind it. If you don't remember the motive may in fact slide off into something different just due to the events of life and how you're practicing. So you have to remind yourself of the purpose. You have to remember why you're here, really. And the purpose of Tai Chi is the purpose of life. It's why we're here on the earth. We're here to evolve, and it's worth reminding yourself of that one, and not getting lost just in the everyday repetition. So I would say that's almost the most important thing. You've got to remember why we're here.
That's very helpful. Especially because there's so much to refine in the practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really easy to get kind of very focused on these small adjustments and these internal small improvements,
Right.
as opposed to looking back and remembering the big picture of why we're doing this.
Right? You have to keep the overview, but you have to concentrate on the details. So unfortunately, you have to manage those two things. You can't get lost in one or the other. The overview without the details is of no use. So you train the details. We make the training difficult because it's the difficulty of life on earth that gives people a chance to evolve. If you came here and it was a paradise, no effort would be drawn out of the people and little result would happen. It's paradise enough when you go out of the body, assuming you've done something for yourself. We're placed here in a very difficult situation. You can see what life is like at the moment, and the pressure of that causes people to either make a big effort to evolve, or they give up and get lost in life, and that's another path. So I can say the evolution or the internal development is really an evolution of your deep intelligence, your deep being intelligence. Being intelligence is a better word than consciousness. Consciousness is a type of awareness that arises out of the intelligent being. Awareness and the ability to act, that's how the intelligent being learns. So your intelligent being expresses itself through the outer physical world, through the etheric world associated with the lower dantian, through the astral world associated with the middle dantian, and through the deep mental world, the celestial world, the heavenly world associated with the upper dantian. So your being intelligence expresses itself through each of those levels, and that's what needs to grow. And it grows through its evolving awareness and ability to act. As it becomes aware and it acts, it learns. That learning becomes understanding. It's drawn back into the intelligence on each of the levels. So it needs pressure and effort to cause the intelligence to grow. Without the pressure and the effort, the intelligence won't evolve. It's like a baby. If you just wrapped it up in cloths and it couldn't move, and you took away all the external stimuli, 1 or 2 years later it will have learnt very little. You place it in the most stimulating environment you possibly can, and it tries to climb up things, and it tries to do things it can't do. It wants to run, it wants to climb on the cat's back, and 1 year later its intelligence will have increased tremendously. So it needs to be challenged.
Do you think that there's seemingly extra pressure on humanity and the world right now because it's an opportunity for us to grow? I'm talking about the health pandemic, global warming, politics.
I think it's like this. The year's 2021, right? The last 70 years, I'm 71 years old. The last 71 years, since about 1950, life in the Western world has been very, very easy, relatively speaking. You take the 70 years before that, you know, back through the Second World War, the First World War, the Depression, the pandemics back then were much worse. These people lived through a much tougher time. We've had it really easy. And I think humanity has become a little soft as a result. You look, we're here in Switzerland. The Swiss have such an easy life that I see them become soft as a result. And then I look at the Russians. I meet some Russians, and they've had quite a hard life. And they're a little bit tougher and a bit more power. I'm speaking very generally now, right? Because actually some Swiss are really great. So the last 70 years have been a little soft, have been a little easy for us. And so this seems hard, what's going on at the moment. But to my parents, they lived through the Second World War, the Great Depression. You know, my parents had people killed around them. They killed people. My father was wounded. This would be nothing. So that's to put it in perspective, first of all. But secondly, yes, the world is a reflection of the level of evolution of humanity. So the human society is a reflection of the level of evolution. And the level of evolution is not especially high, of general population. And so it's a chaotic, somewhat brutal, somewhat ruthless place. But we come into that knowing that, and that pressure to find your way through it gives the opportunity of accelerated evolution, which you don't have once you're out of the body and back in a peaceful place.
Accelerated evolution. Do you think that's really possible for all of us? I see people being really divisive now because of the pressures.
Yes, but that's just how we're experiencing this moment in time. I mean, in the Second World War, it was divisive as well. You know, there were two whole groups of people just madly killing each other. It's a smaller variation of that at the moment. There's a lot of division. You're right. The basic division in humanity is the people who have some connection to their higher self and the people who deny it. So the people who say there is nothing but the physical body. So these people form one group. And the people who say, no, we're here to evolve, is another group. And of course, there's some people who fall in between who are making their decisions. But these are two essential groups that are diametrically opposed in their inner motive for doing things. And that's what we're seeing right at this moment. But we've seen it, of course, back through history.
Wow, that's a really great perspective on things. It's not politics, it's not vaccine or not vaccine, it's is there a spiritual reality to our existence or not?
Of course. That's because that is the reason we are here. And if you deny it, then you fall into a completely different group than the people who accept it and attempt to make something worthwhile out of it.